and a state funeral was held in Kenya with heavy security and massive public attendance. And again, the government declared October 2017 a public holiday to honor him, and this is today. And today we witnessed a stampede occurred during the funeral proceedings at Nyayo Stadium, and at least 2 people were killed and 17 others and more hospitalized, according to various sources of information. Then moving to other government activities, government postponed the Nyota verification exercise across all 290 constituencies out of respect for the funeral and national mourning. Just a bit of what was taking place this day, the 17th day of October 2025. And to start, as of hundreds of thousands of mourners stand to pay their last respects to the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga, marking what is now being described as the largest public gathering in the nation's history. And from the late Jomo Kenyatta to the late Daniel Arap Moi and the late Mwai Kibaki, Kenya has seen state funerals before, but none have drawn crowds of such magnitude and emotion. Since yesterday from dawn, a sea of humanity filled the Mombasa Road right into Jomo Kenyatta International Airport as they awaited for the arrival of the late former Prime Minister. And upon the arrival, a massive crowd overwhelmed security agencies, forcing their way into the area to receive Odinga, leading to a change in plans for the state reception of the late Prime Minister by President William Ruto. Moving into a different story, the Kenya Airways announced an increased flight frequency to Kisumu over the weekend to accommodate the high travel demand to Kisumu. And likewise, Kenya Airways confirmed that the additional flights will be KQ656 expected to depart at 13:30 hours and KQ658, which is expected to depart 19 hours on Saturday, 18th October. On the other hand, Kenya Airways revealed that the company has further upgraded its flight to Boeing 737, which is bound to depart on Sunday, October 19th, on the day of Raila Odinga's burial. And the funeral committee of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has announced significant changes to the schedule of final respect for the late leader, contrary to the earlier plan in which Raila's body was to be taken to his home in Karen for private respect by family and close friends. The committee has now stated that his body will remain at the mortuary until Saturday, October 18th, 2025, when the public will have a chance to pay their final respects. And afterward, the body will be transported to Mamboleo grounds in Kisumu for a public viewing and final tributes ahead of the official burial on Sunday, October 19th, 2025. And the committee did not provide an official reason for the changes, but emphasized that all arrangements are being made with the utmost respect and dignity in order to honor Raila in the manner he truly deserves. And in a historic and emotionally moving movement during the national funeral of the late Raila Odinga, President William Ruto surprised many by singing one of Raila's favorite songs, Jamaica Farewell by Ari Belafonte at Nyayo Stadium, which was filled to capacity with mourners from across the country. President Ruto bowed his head solemnly, then with a calm and respectful voice E began to sing. The song was widely interpreted as a deep gesture of respect for Raila, who was known for his love of music and appreciation for both Africa and international culture. President Ruto, on the other side, said Raila was a man of the world who deeply valued music, especially songs that carried messages of peace and freedom. He also urged Kenyans to remember that despite political differences, Raila was a true patriot who longed for united, just and equal Kenya.
Belafonte, a melody of longing and gentle sorrow. He often broke into a dance and with a big smile sang, "Round the Bay of Mexico, where the sun shines daily on the mountaintop.
Down the way where the lights are gay and the sun shines daily on the mountaintop. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town."
Thank you very much. Today, those words ring with profound meaning, significance, and impact. Our elder statesman, the Honorable Raila, is sailing on a ship, not to Jamaica, but to home beyond. He will not be back with us for many a day. He leaves behind many little girls and boys, not in Kingstown, but here in Nairobi, in Kisumu, in Mandera, in Vihiga, in Mombasa, in Kakamega, in Wajir, and in every village.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has pledged to stand with the family of the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and to carry forward his vision for the nation of Kenya. He is speaking at Nyayo Stadium during today's National Memorial Service for the late statesman. Uhuru paid a heartfelt tribute to Raila, urging Kenyans to pray for his family during this difficult time of mourning. Uhuru described Raila as a hero of peace, democracy, and unity, someone whose contribution to Kenya's history is unmatched. He also emphasized that Raila devoted his life to the nation and to future generations, and that his work will continue to serve as a guiding light for current and future leaders.
Sisi ambao tumebaki na wale ambao hawajazaliwa. Hivyo ndivyo ndugu yetu angependa kuona, na hiyo ndio njia ya kuona legacy yake kama kiongozi wa taifa letu. Wenzetu, sio siku ya mambo mingi. Nimekuja kuomboleza rafiki na ndugu, lakini siwezi nimalizie nisiposema ya kwamba hata kama leo tuna huzuni na tunaomboleza, lazima kama Wakenya tuchukue nafasi hii, kwa sababu Raila hangeweza kutenda yale ambayo alitenda kama angekuwa amesimamiwa na mama nguvu wa kazi, Mama Aida Odinga na watoto wake. Wakati wetu tukifika, utakuwa hapo kutuambia njia ya kutembea hizo mabarabara za huko. Kwa hivyo ndugu yangu, ni kuombee kwa Mwenyezi Mungu akurehemu, akulaze na amani na wenzako, ukijua ya kwamba twakumbuka wewe na yale ambao umebakisha tutaendelea nayo, na familia yako sasa imekuwa yetu.
And on other stories, hundreds of demonstrators, mainly supporters of the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, took to the streets of Mombasa in a show of solidarity and remembrance. The protesters, most of them afflicted with the ODM party, expressed anger and disbelief over Raila's death, demanding that the government come clean about the circumstances surrounding it. The march began at the iconic elephant-taxed monument in the city center, stretching through Changamwe and Bagla areas, with police officers providing security to prevent disruptions by criminals.
Kwa hakika leo tuna huzuni kubwa. Mwamba amelala. Kenya imewachwa yatima. Ndugu zanguni, hatujui tutaweza vipi. Ningeomba wakubwa wote wa Kenya, tafadhali tuishi kwa moja, tuwe na upendo na uvumilivu. Jui.
Kwa kweli nimesikia uchungu na Raila Amolo, manake yeye ndo hero wangu, Raila ndo hero wangu. Nasikia uchungu sana. Naomba Raila amwage mahali pema peponi.
Tena nasikia huzuni, sijui nitaenda wapi Kenya hii. Kwa sababu yeye ndiye alikuwa anatutetea, kama kitu ni mbaya anatutetea. Jamani, hii kifo sijui imetoka wapi kwa baba jamani.
Baba yetu Raila, Mwenyezi Mungu amempenda zaidi, na Mwenyezi Mungu amjalie amweke alipo na watu wema, na Mwenyezi Mungu amwepushe na adhabu ya kabri.
Tunasema pole kwa Mama Aida, pole kwa watoto wake, pole kwa fraternity yote ya ODM, maana leo.
And still moving on, a deep sense of sorrow and mourning filled Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi as Mama Ida Odinga, wife of the late Raila Amolo Odinga, stood before the nation to pay her final respect to her beloved husband during the emotional national funeral service. With a voice filled with grief yet calm and composed, Mama Ida shared their life journey, a story of love, marriage, family, political struggles, and a shared fight for justice and democracy. She emphasized that Raila never sought power for personal gain, but was driven by a genuine desire to see a just, united, and prosperous Kenya for all. In her final message, Mama Ida urged Kenyans to honor Raila's legacy by promoting peace across the country, a cause that was close to his heart throughout his life.
To the honor of that name, I'm also gotten the name of Peace Ambassador. And for that reason, even before I say something else, I'd like to say something about peace. One thing that I know that Raila stood for, and he keep on repeating, is that we need peace in our nation, we need peace in our homes. And peace will not survive in a situation, in a chaotic situation. For that reason, I appeal, today I appeal, let us mourn Raila in peace. I know you are all concerned, I know you are all mourning, you are sad about this, but let's keep peace so that the peace can prevail, not only here in the stadium, but also in the rest of the country.
And members of the ODM party in Thika have come together to mourn and pay tribute to the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, describing him as a true hero who dedicated his life to the nation and to the promotion of peace and justice across the country. Speaking during a memorial gathering held at Thika Muslim Primary School grounds, ODM leaders and supporters reflected on Raila's life as a symbol of sacrifice, resilience, and unwavering leadership despite the many political challenges he faced. And the Maunas called on President William Ruto and all political leaders to carry forward Raila's legacy by fostering unity, respecting democratic principles, and upholding equality and peace, values Raila stood for throughout his life. The event concluded with the lighting of candles and the signing of remembrance songs as members found to continue championing Raila's vision for the sake of future generations. And the Kikuyu Council of Elders has eulogized the late former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, stating that the country has lost a nationalist and a Pan-Africanist who sacrificed for many years for this country. Led by Chairman Wachira Wakiago, the council expressed deep sorrow over Raila, saying Kenya has lost a true patriot and a leader who championed democracy and unity. The group emphasized the need for organized transport to ensure residents can attend the barrier safely and in an orderly manner. The elders praised Raila's lifelong contribution to the fight for democracy, human rights and devolution, saying that his legacy will continue to inspire future generations.
The fraternity expresses deep sadness on the demise of Kenya's long-time nationalist leader and Pan-Africanist, Raila Odinga. We mourn this fallen hero of our nation, a leader without equal in present-day Kenya, whose demise is a profound loss to our country. For KCE, Raila was not just a leader, but also a friend, with whose help our council achieved some key milestones. KCE knew Raila as a selfless leader who had severally sacrificed his own ambitions for the sake of Kenya's stability. His record of stretching a hand of friendship to 4 presidential rivals is a vivid display of unequaled political tolerance. His tireless fight for democracy, human rights, and devolution made him suffer physical and emotional injuries. Raila deliberately ignored all the unsavory tags pinned to his name by bitter rivals. Death has robbed Kenya of an illustrious son, a unifier, and a beacon of hope.
And Kondia condemns corrupt leaders and praises Raila's dignity. And Archbishop Devin Kondia of Bondo Diocese used the state funeral of the late Raila Odinga at Nyayo Stadium to call out corrupt leaders who use money to manipulate citizens instead of offering real solutions. He also praised Raila as a man of integrity who never rallied on wealth or power to influence others. He condemned the culture of handouts among politicians, warning that Kenya is losing its moral compass as leaders prioritize personal gain over service and honesty. He also urged leaders to emulate Raila's humility, vision, and people-centered leadership. He further challenged Kenyans to uphold Raila's legacy of unity, wisdom, and patriotism, reminding them that the former Prime Minister was for a country that transcends tribal and regional divisions.
As we give our last respect to our Baba, if he were to be here addressing you, he would start by saying, higher, higher, and all will be well. So I'm also saying, higher, higher, and let it be well. So His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya and all distinguished guests, Mama Ida and the Odinga family, as we celebrate the life of our fallen hero, I just want us to pay attention to what God is telling us, for that is the purpose for which we came here to have this state service. So I want to ask for your indulgence, friends of Raila, that let's spare a moment just to listen to what God is telling us. Paul, in his address to Timothy, makes...
And moving on with EBN Weekend edition, a section of mourners of the former Prime Minister, the late Raila Odinga supporters who thronged Nyayo National Stadium broke into Raila's historic political song, Bado Mapambano, as the state funeral service began at the stadium. The song, which was often sung by Raila while rallying his supporters on matters democracy, was his signature song that united him with his supporters. Sometime back on January 25th, 2023, Raila moved his followers by singing the song on national television before addressing the Orange Democratic political song, Bado Mapambano, as the state funeral service began at the stadium in memory of Kenya's iconic leader. The mourners could not let the memory pass as they broke into huge crowds singing a replica of this song. Governor Wavinya Ndeti has called on all Kenyans, regardless of background or political affiliation, to unite in honoring the life and contributions of Raila Odinga, whom she described as great son of Africa. She also emphasized that Raila's death has sent shockwaves not only across Kenya, but also throughout the African continent, where he was widely regarded as a champion of democratic ideals. And Governor Ndeti noted that Raila worked relentlessly to uplift young members of parliament, particularly female leaders. Wavinya pledged that as women leaders, they will carry forward Raila's legacy by continuing to champion devolution and the rights of marginalized communities.
Alikuwa Mkenya yule alikuwa amependa nchi yake. Nakumbuka nikienda parliament 2008, nilikuwa mdogo sana. Na wakati hiyo parliament nilikutana na wale walikuwa heavyweights. Raila Amolo Odinga was there, Mishuki was there, Githunguri was there, Aaron Mwai was there, Jenga Karume was there. You can imagine the kind of people I found in the 10th parliament. And kusema ukweli, hao wazee wetu wa zamani walikuwa, Raila Amolo Odinga akiwa ndani, walikuwa wamependa nchi yao. Wengi wao wametuacha, wengine wako. Raila ametuacha. Kile ningeomba wa Kenya, tukue na roho ya kupenda nchi yetu kama vile Raila Amolo Odinga na hao wengine nilikuwa na wao 10th parliament walipenda nchi yao. Baba nakumbuka tukipigania katiba na yeye. Na alikuwa anatuambia tunapigania katiba kwa sababu yenu. Lazima to support maneno ya devolution. He was very key in supporting a devolved governments. Na alikuwa anatuambia lazima tupeleke maendeleo mashinani ndio watu wetu waweze kusaidika. And all his life, all along, amekuwa akipigania devolution. Sisi ile zawadi kubwa baba ametupatia na wale wengine ni kusupport devolution, na wale wamebaki sasa wahakikisha wamefollow legacy ya baba kuhakikisha devolution imesupportiwa ndio Kenya iweze kwenda mbele. Kwa tumekuwa na mama. Nilienda kumuona mama. Mama is strong. Yes, it is not easy to lose a partner and a lifetime partner. Unajua kuna mahali watu wanafika kama wameoana wanakuwa ni kama ndugu na dada. You know, you see her, you see him. You see him, you see her. When I look at them, they had forged a very strong relationship. Sisi tumefanya kazi na yeye hiyo miaka yote. Kutoka for me is from 2006 to now. Tumemsupport all those years, and it's not that because we did not believe in him. We supported Baba because we believed in him, and the Kamba community supported him because we believed in him. He will be missed by many. May the Lord God rest his soul in eternal peace. Na baba alisupport wa mama. By the way, he stood with the women. He supported us. He made us strong when we felt weak. He was there to tell us that we can always make it as women. That is one legacy he will leave with us.
And that story from Machakos County brings EBN Weekend Edition to an end. My name is JKS Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba. We wish you a good night.